Hey everybody, it's Deanna, and I have a few health updates for this month. And my loud neighbors are doing what they usually do, being loud. So if you hear them in the background, I do apologize. 2 weeks ago, I had a follow up with the neurologist, and I had to ride the bus there with a lot of teenagers. So I was on edge from that, but surprisingly, they were quiet and well behaved. Okay, prove me wrong. I get to the appointment and she reviews the results of my MRIs and MR angiograms from August. And the MR angiograms reveal that I have spinal stenosis. And she said it's a mild case. And as long as I don't have any neck pain or any back pain, it's fine. Just follow up if anything changes. The MRIs revealed that I have what are called DVAs, which are developmental venous anomalies. When I say Venus, I'm not referring to the Roman goddess of love or the planet Venus. I'm referring to the word that refers to relating to the vein. These are benign and congenital. They usually develop at birth. They don't know what completely causes them. And normally they're benign and nothing to worry about. But she was saying that the size of one of mine was concerning and that I need to follow up with a neurosurgeon. And they gave me the number to a neurosurgeon. I attempted to call a few days ago. Now, it was a week ago at this point. They have not returned my call. I left a message. They did not return my call. So I will have to call again until I get someone on the phone to make this appointment. This is not an appointment I can schedule online through ANOVA's MyChart. And then I brought up my concerns regarding my memory. Still, I'm forgetting words. My word recall is slower. I've been right now I'm struggling to speak right now. I've been mispronouncing certain words that are words that I'm very familiar with. And I brought these concerns up again. And she was saying, she was reiterating, she does not think I have dementia. She does not think I have aphasia. And she thinks it's due to my stress and due to my lack of sleep. Because I did mention that on average during the week, I get 2 to 3 hours a night of sleep during the week. And on the weekend, I do get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, which I should be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, not just on the weekends. And she was saying she thinks that's the likely cause for my memory issues and my spaciness and my concerns, those concerns. And she was saying I need to lessen my stress. And out loud, I'm saying yes. But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, right. Like I can magically snap my fingers and make the stress go away. I have a stressful job. I live in a stressful environment. As I mentioned at the top of this video, I have loud neighbors. The air quality in my building is poor. The appliances break down half the time. The walls are thin. I can hear everything going on. People smoke in the building, weed, tobacco, whatever. Someone smells something that smokes something that smells like a combination of unwashed ass and burnt metal. Ugh, disgusting. And I saw a study that showed that where I live has the lowest life expectancy and lowest health outcomes. And that was very, very worrying. I live in a place that has a lot of struggles. And it's one of those places that borders a nicer environment. And to walk through the nicer environment, the single family homes, clean lawns, the fall leaves and fall foliage everywhere and fresh air, and to go to where I live, where I'm smelling stale chicken grease and weed half the time. Ugh. How is that good for my health? Like I said, stressful job, stressful environment, stressful commute. I'm dealing with baby's kids on the bus half the time. And how that does not help my mood when I'm going to the office stressed out because kids are calling each other bitch and N-word on the bus and acting like and talking about going to fight people. How does that make me feel? But I normally don't share what I journal about, but a few weeks ago I had written that with all my health issues and all the stress I'm dealing with and everything that is on my plate, that I'm worried I may not live to see 50. And my mother watches these videos from time to time, and she'll probably see this and say, get on the phone, Deanna Chanel, Mickey, Billy Brandon, Deanna Debbie, call me by every other name except for my name half the time. My siblings' names, my aunt's name, anyway, I digress. I'm worried about you. You don't call me, you don't text me. But yeah, I feel that I've been making the health changes, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I can't magically change my job. I can't magically change where I live. I can't magically change certain things right now. It doesn't happen overnight. That's something that happens over time. And my lack of sleep, the neurologist is making it sound like I just do that easily too. And trust me, I know it's not healthy to only get 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. It's not healthy. It's not okay. But I find myself staying up late because that's the only time I have myself. I live alone. But once on the days when I have to leave out and go to work, when I have to go to the office for work, I work from home 2 days a week. I have to deal with commuting. I have to deal with people and their weird idiosyncrasies. I have to deal with, as I mentioned, the bad kids acting up on the bus. I have all these stressors. And then I get to the office, I deal with a lot of egos, personalities, and rude customers. And even though I'm dealing with rude customers mostly via email, I can still be irked via email. Oh my God, it's like they don't take no for an answer. They want to argue, debate, fight. And no matter how many times I sign my emails, Ms. Deanna Howard, parentheses, she/her/ma'am, they still call me sir. And there's just a lot of other things I don't want to get into in this video, but a lot of stuff I'm dealing with. So an update regarding me being diagnosed as diabetic, type 2 diabetic. This is almost 2 months ago at this point. I had a follow-up appointment today regarding that. Today is a holiday. Today was a day off for me, but because I had this appointment and grocery shopping and doing laundry, it did not feel like a day off. So I go to follow up with her today. And I go and I sit in the downstairs lobby like I usually do when I'm really early. My appointment was at 11:15. I didn't need to check in until 11, and I arrived at maybe 10:30, so I had time. I'm sitting there looking at my phone, playing word games, listening to music. All these people are coming in and out and walking by and standing too close. I mean, my shirt, I have my coat on, so they couldn't see my shirt, but even if it were visible, they wouldn't have cared. But anyway, and then I get a text stating, asking if I was in the lobby. One of those auto texts, and press 1 to confirm or 2 for other options. And I never see the text like that from them before. So I said, okay, I'm going to go up and check in then, even though it's still a few minutes early. And I get up there and there's construction going on and there are people in the hallway, and I thought I was on the wrong floor. Heck, I thought I was in the wrong building for a moment. And I was going to leave. And then some man saw me, and he said, this is a check-in for the doctor's office. And he points to where I needed to go. And I go, and the front desk staff are all in this tiny room. And I check in and I get told to sit in the makeshift waiting area, which is in the hallway. I didn't get any notice or any message that they were going to do renovations. None whatsoever. I even tried to find, I did a Google search trying to find any information. None. No notice. It was the most awkward experience. Luckily, I get called maybe about 10 minutes after I checked in. The nurse got my name right this time. Good job, young lady. I was weighed, blood pressure, all that jazz. And I waited maybe about 10, 15 minutes for the doctor. And I mentioned, this is something that came up. Since I've been taking metformin, I've lost a lot of weight. When I was last at the doctor's office, I weighed 138 pounds. Last night, I weighed 127. And that worried me. So I brought up my concerns about that. And I did some searching, and weight loss is one of the side effects of metformin. And not only that, people are using it off-brand to lose weight. I'm trying to gain weight. I want to gain the weight back. I want to get to at least 130 because I feel when I'm heavier, my clothes fit better. I have more muscle. People don't mistake me for a kid as much, which has been happening a lot more lately. I get called sweetie, baby, honey, young lady. Today at the store, store worker said, "Excuse me, baby." I said, "Please don't call me baby. I'm not a child." She's like, "You're right. Sorry, ma'am." I appreciate the apology because sometimes they want to get defensive and fight when I tell them I'm not a child. Please don't call me baby. But she was respectful. I appreciated that. But anyway, back to the doctor's office. I mentioned my weight loss. And though you're saying that my weight is still decent for my height, it was a concern of mine, especially so quickly to lose like at least 10 pounds like that. So she told me I need to split the metformin pills because they have me on 500 milligrams right now. And I need to split them and take halves. And I assume she was trying to refill the prescription at the lower dose because my pharmacy sent me a text saying we can't refill your prescription until December such date. But anyway, so that's I had to get a pill splitter after I left the doctor's appointment. And she also told me because I'm now diabetic that I'm susceptible to getting pneumonia. So I got a vaccine for that too at the appointment. And this is our last follow-up because she, as I mentioned in a previous video, she is leaving the area. Her last day is before Thanksgiving. So I scheduled a follow-up appointment for February with the new doctor. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. And normally I don't shake hands with people, but she offered to shake my hand. It was nice knowing you take care of yourself, such and such, you know. Normally I don't. I'll say I don't shake hands, but I shook her hand. Yeah. So yeah. It's been an adjustment being the kids are being noisy outside, so you may hear them in the background. It's been an adjustment being diabetic or being diagnosed as diabetic. And I mentioned the weight loss side effect. I also had a day where my vision was very blurry. I'm at work and my glasses felt like an old prescription. Like, how can I see through this pair yesterday and then today I can't? And that was concerning. And I was going to go see an eye doctor if it got worse. But luckily, it was just temporary. Thank the universe. But yeah, that was worrying because I'm nearsighted already, and I'm wearing bifocals. And I'm typing and I'm peering really close trying to see. And there's a shared spreadsheet, but I didn't want to adjust the size because it's a shared spreadsheet. They're gonna wonder why is this at 150% or whatever. So I had to peer really closely to see what was on the spreadsheet. I'm typing. I was peering through the bottom half of my glasses because the bottom half is for near vision and the top half's for distance. So I'm peering through the lower half. So now I took my glasses off to help. See, that helped. Luckily, you know, and I was going about it like pretending like everything was okay, even though it was clearly not. But it was temporary. But if it had gotten worse, or if it gotten worse or continued, I would have called my eye doctor, probably the retinal specialist, because they have more advanced technology. That was worrying. But other than that, and other than the weight loss issue, I've been fine. I've been eating much healthier. I had salted chocolate chip cookies, salted caramel chocolate chip cookies before I got diagnosed, and I was Googling, are these safe for a diabetic to eat? And then the response I got was, it is not recommended. So I had to throw them out. I had a pack of sugar cookies I didn't make yet. So I took those. I took an unopened pack of Doritos. And I took some De La Calle Mexican sodas to the office. And I did it. No one saw me doing it. I didn't want anyone to ask me questions. Oh, why are you getting rid of this? Is there something wrong with it? I didn't want the 50-11 questions that come because people are nosy and I don't reveal too much about myself, and they want to get my business. I don't want people in my business. That's another thing, because they like to have the free food and all the bowls of candy, bringing cupcakes and cookies and whatnot. And I used to take the candies. I used to eat a bunch of candies all day. Not anymore. Not anymore. Because a lot of the stuff I can't eat anymore because too much sugar, or my cholesterol, too much sodium, excuse me. And blood pressure too. Although the doctor today, she said my blood pressures have been better. She thought about taking me off one of the medications, but for now, they're going to keep me on both medications. But progress, people, progress. But I was taking all the uneaten junk food to the office. I wasn't going to give it to my family or friends. My family probably would have said, you can give it to us. No. Like, if I'm trying to get myself healthy, I don't want my family eating unhealthy either, you know? Even though I did mostly eat healthy, I'll admit I did eat a bunch of junk. I used to eat pizza every Friday. I do not do that anymore. And when I do eat pizza now, I eat pizza that has a cauliflower crust that has usually has less carbs, because carbs are part of the sugar that I have to avoid. And that's been very helpful. I've been eating a lot more vegetables. I've been snacking. I've been snacking on cucumber for the longest, but I've also been eating a lot of baby carrots too for a lunch snack. I've been making wrap sandwiches that have low carbs and that have a lot of veggies. I use a skim cheese, low sodium cheese, a little hummus, low sodium turkey breast. I use reduced fat Triscuits. I used to have the Triscuits with the pepper. It's like pepper. I can't remember the other seasoning. Really good, but because those have a bunch of sodium, I had to stop eating those. I've been eating apples the longest. If I can't find Pink Ladies, I'll get the Honey Crisps, and those are good. Doing much better. And they had lunch one day, and because I don't know what it is, and I have to be very mindful of what I eat. And I'm in the scanning room, I'm on the computer, and I have my headphones on, and someone, Deanna, there's free food in the kitchen, go get some. Just because I'm wearing headphones does not mean I can't hear you. So I said, thank you, I'll get some later. And I did not. They usually don't follow up after. They usually let me be. Because many offices I've worked at, people are very pushy about food. And they are so nosy about food. And there are always those women talk about, girl, I'm on a diet. Look at, oh, you're so skinny. How do you get so skinny? You probably don't eat much. Like, making ignorant comments. I used to deal with that, especially when I was younger and first starting out in these offices. People are very funny about food in offices. It's honestly no one's business. And it's no one's business at the office that I'm diabetic. Now they can come across this video and find out that way. You know, I don't mind putting it out in a YouTube video because I'm not sharing this to put my business in the street. I'm sharing this because if someone ever having the same struggles, I want them to know they're not alone. And that's why I'm making these videos, talking about my health and what I'm going through. That's why I'm making it. I'm not making it for people to gossip about. And people do talk. And someone revealed to me that someone in the office had a disability, I will say. I'm not going to say what it was. It was none of my business, and it was not their business to share. I wish I had said something, but this is a person I've had issues with before, and I try to horn beep. I try to get through the day as much as possible with minor interactions with this person. But yeah, that's why I haven't, I don't want them to know I'm diabetic in their office because it'd be gossip for them. Oh, did you hear? Deanna has diabetes. Someone who I follow on social media who is a diabetic, she said that she considers it a disability. I don't consider being diabetic a disability. As a hindrance, yes. It's a pain in the butt, yes, but I don't consider it a disability. And I don't want people to see me any differently or treat me any differently because of this diagnosis. And my mother, bless her heart, I think she was in denial about my diagnosis. She was telling me, Deanna Chanel, meet with Billy Brandon, get a second opinion. Come on, you're just not going to take this. No, it's not a case of I had one test and boom, I'm diabetic. No, I had plenty of blood tests and other lab work done. So this is not some overnight thing. This was over like months and years. This is not boom, you're diabetic. So that's why I haven't sought out a second opinion. Because I've been through so many tests. It's not like it's a one-off thing. And I think she doesn't want to believe that one of her kids is sick. I don't even consider it sick. I mean, as I said, it's not, I don't see it as a disability. I see it as a pain in the butt and a hindrance. That's what it is. But I have been looking at the American Diabetes Association's website. They have a lot of recipes. I've made different things from their website. I've made a tofu vegetable stir fry, which is really good, and top that with put on top of brown rice. I have made a peanut butter chocolate banana smoothie, and I used Boost glucose friendly shake. The recipe called our Splenda diabetic friendly shake, but I couldn't find it, so I found one Boost version of it, and that was really good. And I made black bean brownies. Oh my goodness. I was skeptical about it, but I love brownies. And I knew that I couldn't eat regular brownie anymore because it's so sugary and not good for a diabetic. And they had a recipe using black beans along with cocoa powder, Splenda zero sugar sweetener, and other ingredients like that. And I was skeptical, but I was willing to try it, and it turned out decently. They're not as thick as regular brownies, and they're not as sweet as regular brownies, but they're decent. Some people complain that their recipe, it tasted like they put chocolate on beans. But I did not taste the beans at all. And I think what they did, because the recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of black beans. A can of black beans is 15.5 ounces, which is almost 2 cups. And I think those people actually put a full can of beans in theirs, because I didn't have any issue with it at all. They said they had issues blending it in a blender. I got a blender from JCPenney about a month or so ago, which has been really good. And so I've been doing that to make things like the brownies and the smoothies and whatnot. And there's so many other recipes I want to try. There's a recipe they have of turkey tacos. I've reached my spending limit for the month, but I'm going to try those next month. I want to see how those turn out because I also want to have tacos. So when I have tacos, I don't want to give up everything I eat, but I want to be more mindful of what I do eat. And it's been a day by day thing. It's been a day by day thing, and all I can do is take things one day at a time. And I've had a lot thrown my way this year. It's been a rough year. And as I mentioned earlier, I realized if I don't make more health changes, like with my stress level and with my amount of sleep I'm getting each day, that I may not, and where I live and all the stressors that come, and a stressful job, that if I don't reduce these stressors in my life, I may not live to see 50. And my goal is to reach my 90s. I want to live to see my 90s at least, if not 100, my 90s. And if I don't start bringing more ease into my life, more relaxation into my life, and reduce as much of the stress as possible until I can make more permanent changes, that my lifespan may be shortened. And I do not want that to happen. I'm not ready yet. I'm too young. I should have at least 50 more years to go. I should. But I'm not going to let these diagnoses or these things get me down. As I mentioned in my previous video, I'm not going to let these things get me down. I have to keep fighting. I have to keep doing what I need to do. And today, after actually this is when I was waiting for my clothes to dry, I went for a walk. And I have not walked through the nice neighborhoods I live near in ages. And whew, those side streets, they're not, oh my, the homes are incredible. And it was just so quiet. And I was listening to my walking meditation. I'm walking, doing my thing. I'm looking at the foliage. And normally I like to take photos, but when I have a Fitbit meditation going, I can only use it for that, so I can take photos. But I was watching, taking in my footsteps, taking in my breaths, in and out. And the fall foliage was beautiful. Oh my goodness gracious, people. And it was just so quiet. There were no screaming children. There were no cars blasting music. There were no teenagers fighting and cutting up. It was that quiet that I needed. And then I got my clothes from the laundry room, folded them, put everything away, etc., etc. And I'm in for the day. And I saw Karamo Brown. He used to be on The Real World Philadelphia. He now hosts his eponymous talk show. And he did a video on Instagram recently, and he's talking about he used to be so hard on himself. He's learning to find things to love about himself. And that is a good point. But as he was doing it, he was making avocado toast with egg. He boiled his egg and he shredded. And I've been eating less whole eggs. I got egg whites. So what I thought about doing was putting some avocado, and he was using smoked paprika. I keep hearing good things about smoked paprika. So I'm gonna put some of that together, put that on toast, and I'm gonna fry some egg whites and put that on top of that and see how that goes. Because I know I'm due for a snack and then dinner soon. So yeah, I've been logging my food with my Fitbit to see how much. I got a good suggestion. I think it was Chronometer, I was told, But Fitbit is doing its job. So Fitbit's fine. I'm going to stick with Fitbit for now. And I can see the sugar I'm intaking, the carbs, the calories, sodium, to make sure that I'm not doing too much in those terms, that I keep the sodium and the sugar and the carbs low. Yeah. So I'm going to get going because I have had a long day with the doctor's appointment and grocery shopping after and then doing laundry, and I want to rest. Whew. I have the rest of this night off, and then tomorrow I'm working from home. So let me enjoy the rest of this night while I can. If you've liked this video and you want to hear more from me, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care, folks. Have a good night.